Trump gave you the name Little Marco, right?
Yeah. Never been able to shake it. People still yell it at me in airports. He kind of made my life hell.
And you endorsed him, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Big time. That guy's just the best.
Oh, the best,
The
right?
best.
People that used to work for Trump, they would like to warn us that he may be a danger in some way.
They really should put, if they're willing to do it, all of them on an ad. John Kelly and McMaster's, and I mean, any of them that are willing to speak out. I would love to see an ad of just people that worked for Trump telling everybody his flaws, how dangerous he is, and that there's no way you should vote.
Yeah.
The New York Post is now turning on him. Fox will be next.
If the voters conclude that you're putting your own ego or your own grudges ahead of what's good for the country, they're going to look elsewhere.
Well, of course he's embarrassed because his entire net worth, the constant reiteration that I'm worth at least $10 billion, maybe even more, obviously goes to his id, his ego, his super ego, and that's now super deflated because it's just not true.
I don't know, maybe people know it, but he does have a very potent fear of being poisoned.
Did not know he had a fear of being poisoned.
Well, now you do.
Uh-huh.
So he uses and prefers the small Heinz glass ketchup bottles because he likes to hear his valet or whoever is serving him his meal, he likes to hear the pop when you...
Really? That's why?
Yeah.
I thought it was because his hands
this.
are so little, it seemed like...
Someone was quoted saying, I think within 30 days you're going to see a purge of staffers from the RNC because it's a hotbed for anti-Trumpism. That's the open secret. So Lara Trump as the solution is a joke, said one former campaign official. She's not there to be an asset to the RNC. She's there to be Trump's eyes and ears. GOP donors are in full panic mode over the possibility of Lara Trump taking a leadership role.
You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down.
The RNC needs someone who can rake in the dough for Trump, and she ain't it. Well, if she does, it all goes to him. So,
See, that's the beauty, is she's there to be the Trump money launderer. I mean,
Right.
The beauty of it is, I hope she wins, because he's got, at this point, hundreds of billions. I've lost track of all the judgments against him for libel and, for his company's illegal acts and whatever. And they'll just use it to pay off their as they always do. They'll use it to pay off their debts. So great. Don't use it on campaigning. Don't use it on helping that human pile of scum Ted Cruz try to hold on in Texas. Don't use it to try to hold the House. That sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
blow it all on his legal bills.
Speaking of money, so Trump is appealing the $464 million fraud verdict that was entered in the New York court, meaning that he's going to have to put up all the money, right, to secure that appeal. Where was he going to get that from, Cliff?
Nobody knows for sure just how much was taken in the daring pre-dawn raid at the Lufthansa cargo terminal at Kennedy Airport. The FBI says $2 million. Port Authority police say $4 million. The city cops say $5. Lufthansa has not said anything, but they promised to break their silence.
I mean, will we know where he gets it from?
A lot of
Russia.
Trump sneakers. I mean, you'd better sell about 10 billion Trump sneakers. But I mean, from what I hear from Trump and his people, black people really like them. So
Did you see him last night at that speech in South Carolina when he told that crowd that black people like him better now because he has a mugshot?
Yeah, my man got street cred. But look, underneath it all, he's a good man, and I love him. I do.
Hey, Tim. Yep. Whatever he did to you, it's not your fault.
There's so many, what's the word, wild cards that could happen in 2024, right?
yeah, I mean, there are, but in that way, it's just great memories of 2020 and 2016, right? Like, hey, Jill Stein, Gary Johnson in 2016, of course, turned out horribly. 2020, we had all of these same worries too. There were there are independents and people on the left, people that weren't real Democrats. I give you Andrew Yang, who isn't a real. I mean, two people that were on that stage at times with Biden are no longer members of the Democratic Party. Right. Tulsi Gabbard is an outright Putinite on the right, and you've got Yang, who's causing trouble from the no labels lane. So I mean, they do this every time.
Yeah.
This is what the Russians are experts at.
We have more recent.
They will try to peel votes off.
We have more recent history, Cliff, than 1968. We have 2016, where once again, Read the Mueller report. Read any of the books that Malcolm Nance wrote. Read any of the, the Senate, Republican-led Senate intelligence report. Russia's plan worked exactly as it was supposed to. They caused enough chaos and division that in enough Bernie voters in those 3 swing states that Kalimnik got the polling data for to peel people off to vote for Jill Stein to stay home or to vote for Trump. And there you go.
And look, even in 2020, they turned enough people against Biden to make it closer than it should have been. And frankly, we didn't win. We didn't have the great kind of win down ballot that we wanted in the House races and some others. And I think they played a role in that too. We're going to
make no mistake. Russia's in there now, ginning up this
of course they
Middle East controversy among Democrats. Blah blah blah.
We have to beat that. We have to do the kinds of things we were talking about Gavin Newsom earlier. We need to be on offense. We need to own news cycles. We need to put them on defense and separate them. Again, this guy, every time he opens his mouth about being a dictator, and every time another crazy body that Republicans appointed, like the U.S. Supreme Court, the Alabama Supreme Court, passes some crazy bill to take over your body, well, guess what? They're losing people, suburban Republicans. Even in those South Carolina primaries, if you look, where Trump lost people to Nikki Haley, who said they would not vote for him, and in general, with the suburbs of Charleston and places like that. So you have to keep in mind they're also losing a lot of people because of the extreme positions. And
sometimes I think his ass is going to live 1,000 years. Yeah. But Tim, honey, don't let him turn you into somebody else.
Guys, I'm a U.S. Senator, and I will never, ever compromise my integrity for Donald Trump. But I might if he made me vice president. Hey!